Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. This is Ann Parisi, our founder, Jack Roser, and myself have Bruno Behrand. And during the break, we were talking about some solutions. And just for our listeners, there is going to be a school board election in April, right, Bruno?
Right.
And
most districts.
Most districts, and it's what, 800 and how many in Illinois, Jack?
880 or 90.
860.
And there's going to be
school districts, yeah.
So there's going to be elections, school board elections for 890.
Yeah, usually 7 people on a board.
Okay.
About half of them, well, a third of them will be up for election.
Those elections are happening in April.
Right.
You have to get on the ballot before December 26th. So that gives you about a week and a few days and to get your petition signed to get on the school board. Mm-hmm. Would that be a solution to some of these problems? Because, I mean, I'm hearing you talk about having the money follow the student and school choice. How could the school board help to move that agenda and that needle?
Well, it's a very good question. When I talk about the system that I support, which is money following the child, I basically say the 30-second elevator close, money should follow the child to a vast new array of education services instead of the money following the child, instead of the money following the bureaucracy. Now,
vast new array of education services.
There should be many, many more schools and many more options. And let me just really quickly lay it out this way. While we work to transition, and you can't just do it overnight.
No.
While we work to a transition to a choice-based system where the money follows the child, there are literally hundreds of things you can do on the school board to foster a better education system and, quite frankly, a better economy for your state, because school boards intentionally waste money by the bucket load.
Mm-hmm. Your taxpayer dollars.
And if you want to get some level of control of that waste, then
let me
put
an oar in the water right here, because it has to go. You got to realize that the school system of the United States, and certainly the state of Illinois, is a single-payer system. Now, that word has come into currency because Obama is imposing a stinking single-payer system on us on medical stuff. The experience of single-payer with the school system ought to be enough to warn you off of the fact that Obamacare is really a bad idea.
Right.
So, what are they doing? They're stuck in the past, for God's sakes, because the union is running it. There's no joke about it, no lack of accuracy. The union is running it. They take immense amounts of money, take from the teachers in the state of Illinois. They take $132 million a year, and about $100 million of that is spent on politics. That's why it's so hard to elect anybody to any job in the state of Illinois that it isn't run by the teachers' union of all of them. The teachers' union has single-handedly corrupted all of the politics at the state level with that $100 million a year that goes in their hands to get things the way they want it. Now, those guys are stuck in the past, and it's strictly for putting high salaries and high pensions into the hands of the stinkers that are running the school system.
But it's not the teachers.
The thing is stuck in the past in the first place, and it's because it's just union run top to bottom, and there ought to be innovation of great order in the whole school system. Listen, they take gobs into the Navy and teach them to run aircraft carriers with atomic propulsion and everything else in them, really complicated jobs. They teach them off a computer, and when they've learned one lesson, to take a test, pass that, on to the next.
Right.
I'm not saying that you got to do it that way, but there are all kinds of ways to teach children. They're learning all kinds of things on the internet, and the schools are stuck in the mud with a stinking system at great cost to the taxpayer. Our kids are getting lousy education. So what you got to do before you can do anything politically in the state of Illinois is you have to realize that the stinking IEA, the Education Association, education, it's just something that the unions have got stuck in there to manage to run the whole state. Madigan and his daughter are running it. Incidentally, I just got a little note on my computer. Madigan is talking about retiring. I was predicting that a year ago. He's got to make room for his sister, and his reputation for what he's done to the state of Illinois is only given a really bad name to the name Madigan. So his do-nothing daughter, not his daughter really, but adopted daughter, but she has Madigan's name on him, and if he stays around, it'll be a considerable detriment to her getting elected governor, which is what's in the offing. So that's why Madigan is, I predicted this a year ago, he'd have to retire because he's made such a bloody mess of the whole state of Illinois. Madigan,
fair enough.
He owns this thing. Democrats own it. Don't ever vote for any Democrat, because the first thing they'll do when they get to Springfield is they'll vote to put Madigan back in the saddle. But this thing continues, and there are all kinds of ways you can teach children much better, from using homeschooling on up to high-tech things like the computer. You inform me you can get the whole schedule from MIT.
You can get
is on the internet.
You can.
But
That's
they
at
need
an upper
to pay
level.
for the internet. And
No,
they need,
and a lot of it
you're talking about. I mean, you see, this is the whole thing, Carol. I mean, you're talking about paying for the internet. You're talking about
Paying for
I mean,
computer.
you know, like Jack talks about his smartphone. You know, we're looking at a smartphone. The sum of human knowledge can be delivered onto one of these things, and you know, all day long. So it's easy.
We're going to talk more when we come back after the break. Stay with us.